Ellinwood, Kansas. Population 2,000. To most people, Ellinwood is just another town to pass by on the highway. However, little do they know that there's plenty of history below ground. Founded in 1871 by the Santa Fe Railroad workers, Ellinwood soon became a bustling town with something unique that helped it stand out.
And Ellinwood very much became a place for the men, especially with our underground tunnels. Ellinwood was founded with a system of storefronts below ground, dubbed the tunnels. And how that worked, our sidewalks were originally wooden, and there were stairwells that led down into the sidewalk. Once under the sidewalk, you could go all throughout our downtown, out to the train station, out to the mill, out to the brewery. Unfortunately, most of that was filled in the early 80s, but there's 2 sections of tunnels left that we actually do a tunnel tour to showcase the stores and the history. There's a blacksmith shop, a barber shop, a bathhouse, also an old store, kind of a wholesale type store. Ellinwood's very first public library was born below ground. But something else really neat, we actually recreated an old saloon that you can come have a drink at present day. At one time in Ellinwood's history, it's said that we had up to 11 drinking establishments below ground.
There were a lot of guys wandering around Ellinwood, so it kind of turned out that the businesses that the men tended to frequent went down into the basements. The guys would mostly spend their time downstairs, and then the people who lived here in Ellinwood could go to the shops that were on Main Street and not be bothered by all the folks that were passing through.
Today, there are 2 remaining sections. One is beneath the Wolf Hotel.
This is kind of cool. This gives you an idea. This is the underground tunnel. This space would have taken you all throughout downtown. You could have gone out to the train station, out to the mill, out to the brewery, all in this area. These are the storefronts as they would have looked in the late 1800s, early 1900s. The store you're looking into here was a wholesale store called the Drummer's Room. You know, with all of the drinking establishments below ground, we wanted to recreate one. And so my favorite part of the underground is our speakeasy. This was run by a man named J.P. Weber. If you look in the windowsill over there, you'll see a picture of J.P. and an old ad from this store.
The other remaining section that still exists today is across the street, below the Dick Building, today known as the Ellinwood Emporium.
This is Tom Drake's harness shop. He was here in 1887. Most of what you see in this room is original. Tom Drake worked down here until 1920, and when he retired, harness shops were not needed anymore. So he left his old tools down here and closed up the place and walked away. Okay, this side of the underground is where the people would have walked up and down the street. Originally there were windows all the way down. The light from the shops would probably shine out into the walk space so you could see where you're going. And this is where the tunnel that went under Main Street crossed over to the Wolf Hotel. And this is where one of the 8 stairways that you could take down into the underground from the sidewalks up above. We're in William Young's barber shop. Mr. Young was a German man who came to Ellinwood in 1882. He was a prominent businessman here in town. He was our band leader. This is supposed to have been his horn. And the band used to practice down here in the barber shop. Must have been quite a sound when they were practicing down in the barber shop here.
But anytime you get a whole bunch of men below ground and with 11 saloons to drink from, you're going to have some kind of activity, such as crime.
We have counted about 12 bullet holes in the walls. 3 of them are up there above the clock. And this was just the barber shop, so imagine what it must have been like in one of the saloons. So this is Mr. Young's bathhouse. It was also the laundry. While you were having a bath, you could get your clothes washed. I've been told that baths cost 15 cents, and you get a half a tub of warm water and a bar of lye soap and a clean towel. But if you only wanted to pay 5 cents for a bath, you could do so, but you had to use dirty water and somebody else's towel.
However, like all things, it must come to an end eventually.
So the underground went from being a very busy, heavily utilized space to dwindling down.
When the Depression hit in 1929, the economy just became really bad, and a lot of the businesses closed up.
We weren't utilizing the space. Ellinwood was becoming a sleepy town, just not as busy, and there was plenty of space on the main level for the stores to be. The last thing in the underground was the city of Ellinwood. Our library was there from the 40s through the 60s.
A lot of people in Ellinwood have told me that, when they were younger, growing up here, that they just really didn't even hear much about it. And it wasn't until Adriana Deerhoff, who inherited this building from her grandfather, really started to promote the tunnels, and she's the one that's responsible for restoring the ones in front of this building and making access available.
In today's world, what is it about the underground tunnels that make Ellinwood unique and attractive?
So I get to see a lot of people that come through on the tours, and the thing that they always tell me is just how great Ellinwood is about preserving history and sharing the history. So I think we're proud of our history, which then becomes a treasure for us, for so many people to come to town and see what we have to offer.
I was strolling down one evening by the silvery moon. I could hear somebody singing a familiar tune. So I stopped a while to listen. Not a word I wanted to miss. It was just somebody serenading.